Suze, I've got an interest in your thoughts on this subject matter that are about to hit.
Okay.
Let me set the table, if you don't mind. So, last I saw the Chicago Bears, London, it was in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and they were a hot team from the second quarter on. The usual first quarter issues. I don't know what's going on with the Bears coming out to start these games. They're struggling in the first quarter. They just started, as we learned through Stacey Dale's reporting prior to that game against the Jaguars, had just 2 weeks prior started scripting their first 15. They were just usually having a menu of plays that everybody liked, and then it would be up to the OC Shane Waldron to dial it up in the first drive. Players were saying it would kind of be helpful if we start scripting it. And they still struggle in the first quarter. We didn't see Caleb Williams start doing stuff in D.C. like he did in London in the last three quarters until the fourth quarter of that game, and they were terrific. He was terrific in that fourth quarter, and the Bears were going to win it until we all know that Hail Mary that did not go their way. Ball tipped up and behind everybody right into the open arms of Noah Brown, and the ball tipped by a guy who wasn't even paying attention to the first 3 seconds of that play. And Tyreek Stevenson, who apologized, and the teammates all have his back, and they're all going to go out there in Arizona and get back to work, and then it was awful. There's just no other way to put it. It was just brutal. And, you know, in that game, you could see Caleb Williams running around for his life, as he does a lot. And he's ranging to his left, extending the play. Looks like the play was over, or at least DJ Moore, one of the leaders on that offense, one of the leaders in that receiver room. The OG is Keenan Allen, but DJ Moore, you know, came in the trade that eventually brought Caleb to the mix in Chicago, and he strolled off the field. I've never seen anything like it. I think he thought Caleb was about to throw it away, and he's done. But the play wasn't over, and he walked off the field and headed to the bench. And again, when we were meeting with the Bears, DJ Moore was one of the guys we spoke to because he's a leader on the team, and he takes that responsibility seriously. At least we all felt that from him in the room. He was the one saying that the Wi-Fi was finally feeling like everybody got the same Wi-Fi connected together because the offense was coming together going into that game. And so to have one guy in Tyreek Stevenson do what he did during the Hail Mary that cost him, and then have DJ Moore in the middle of the game, in the middle of the play, stroll off the field. You know, he in his weekly radio appearance in Chicago was asked the money question of, has the coach lost the locker room? Now, you could basically say, well, it's on DJ Moore if he's just strolling off the field in the middle of a play. He's not like making sure that his quarterback has more fight or life left in him in the play. But this has been a few weeks since London, and obviously after a play like the one that cost them in D.C., these are the questions about Matt Eberflus. Sweetheart of a guy, but you're wondering, does he have the pulse of the locker room? And this is what DJ Moore had to say.
Has Matt Eberflus lost his football team?
I want to say no. The message yesterday was that we know we 4-4 now. It's just like being 0-0. But you just got to go out there and start stacking wins how we did. And that's the best thing we can do is win and then let the chips fall how they fall after we do so.
Okay. I have the perfect person sitting on the set to ask this question to. Suze, you and I have been married 22 glorious years. We've got 3 beautiful children and 2 lovely dogs at home. Am I missing anything?
I think it's 24 and a half or 22 and a half.
What years have we been married?
What's
We've
the
been
math
married.
on
We're
that?
20. Like this is our
Are you
22nd
rounding up?
years of marriage.
Just
Yes,
in
I'm
case?
rounding up.
Just in case?
But you had me at hello. It took a while for me to have you at that same very hello. But that's ancient history. That's buried.
Are you equating Am I DJ Moore and you're Eberflus?
No.
How are we doing this?
That's my long wind up. Here's the pitch.
You're building to something here, right?
Let me build.
Just checking.
Come on, let me build.
Rich, I'm here to talk about sports.
No. Let me ask you this question. Let's just say we weren't on such wonderful footing as we are.
If we were taking a break or something? Just like a Friends reference?
No. Here we go. And you were suspecting me of straying or potentially wondering if we were still, simpatico. And you asked me that question, and I say, I want to say no.
I think I'd probably hit Laura Wasser on my speed dial.
One of the most famous.
And I'd just say, law.
Divorce attorneys, who was in our wedding party, by the way. You want to talk about being able to have a thick skin.
It'd be like, Rich,
Mike, one of Los Angeles' America's leading divorce attorneys was in her wedding party on our wedding day. As I'm saying my vows till death do us part, there she is, the law, taking notes. What if you said, are we in trouble? And I'll say, I want to say no.
Well, I mean, I did shoot you a look during that soundbite like, ooh, that doesn't sound very good.
I want to say no.
That does not sound very good.
And then he repeats what is being told to the locker room right now, which is we're 0-0. Let's pitch the last, not the first 8 games, but hitting a reset button would kind of be a smart way of telling your team, let's rally around, let's forget that Hail Mary. Let's forget whatever is going on here, whatever you're wondering about our team's abilities, let's hit the reset button. Makes sense. But when you hear him say, I want to say no, that's the first words out of his mouth.
This is not a tightly run ship. It reminds me a little bit of what Pete Carroll used to say about his method of coaching, which is, I can be jocular with the guys, and I can be one of the guys he would run with them before practices. We all knew that. But he ran a tight ship. And what that looked like is a bunch of guys not quite paying attention to their leader.
I didn't get a sense of, in London, with the exception of hearing the story that, they weren't scripting their first 15, and the players went to Eberflus, this according to Stacey Dale's reporting, and he's like, talk to the OC, that's what you want, letting the guys handle it themselves, and then they did, and then they started scripting it, and that still hasn't led to some first quarter traction, which would be great, so things aren't tight in the end, or just starting fast would be great for them. Rich, are you planning to take out the garbage? I want to say no. How would that go over?
Not so well.
Right. I want to say no.
not a good response.
Is a way of saying, yeah, I want to say no. But here's what they're telling us, and, we got to start stacking wins like once upon a time when we were 1-2. Then we were 4-2. They stacked wins 3 in a row. Now they've lost 2 in a row. They do have the Patriots coming in with a rookie quarterback, and they're a much better team at home, certainly on defense where they're scoring to helping out the offense. So perhaps the winning ways might return and provide the deodorant to what clearly is going on.
And we haven't even talked about leaving Caleb Williams in late in the game, which I still am scratching my head about.
I'm with you because of, what you're referring to, like Chris Godwin, what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
But this kid just needs the reps. He does. He needs the time.
He needs the reps, but boy, that's late in the game, and things get sloppy late in the game, and I would protect my franchise a little bit better than that.
Well, things would be a hell of a lot worse if he did actually suffer something significant. But he definitely needs the reps.
They all do. I mean, all these young quarterbacks need the time in. That was why everybody was wondering about Anthony Richardson and should they leave him in?
Right. It just doesn't help that the guy chosen after him looks so naturally gifted in terms of leadership and calmness and understanding, and doesn't need and is making more out of what everybody thinks is less, with all due respect to Terry McLaurin and the rest of that skilled position set coming into the season. Everyone's like, well, that's Keenan Allen. That's DJ Moore. And they drafted Rome Odunze. And, they got DeAndre Swift, so look out. And the Commanders are like, hold our beer. Or division title, I might add. That can't help. And it certainly doesn't help when the answer isn't like, no, we're a tight team. We all believe in the coach. It's not. Instead, it's like, I want to say no. No bueno. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.